Good afternoon, everybody. Let me ask a question. How is it possible that in an industry as technologically advanced as computer games, which it really is, that we are so far behind in collaborative, distributed, real-time development? Virtually every other software vertical, every other software industry is already basing their development practices on real-time, distributed, collaborative development. Seems intuitive that that's where we should be going, and that's what we should be doing. And that's what MaxPlay is focused on. We knew that we needed to have a different type of team as we embarked in this effort. So we assembled an incredible team of technologists who are expert in game engines, pipelines, production processes. But in addition to that, we've added SaaS enterprise software architecture talent from companies like AT&T, Cisco, and Oracle to the mix to design new architectures for the future of our industry. Added to this team, DNA of game producers, guys who have led $20 billion of game revenue, partnering with the technologists to solve the pain points of making games, which there are plenty of. Let's talk about, this needs to be more than intuition, right? Intuitively, we need to be looking at collaborative distributed development, but why? What's going on? Well, we used to be looking at maybe a PC or a console, and then the world threw mobile games at us and free-to-play games, more software operating systems, more hardware. Now we're on smart TVs. And developers have so many variables to work with, and now we're dealing with VR and AR, which have their own set of technological challenges, not only just with delivering runtime, but new telemetry, new analytics. There's going to be new technologies that are going to have to plug into our development platforms. On top of this, the reality is that development now is distributed all over the world. 86% of teams are distributed. And we have no platforms that operate like this. No platforms to build our games on that reflect the realities of our world. We make a game, we make a mobile game, but it's not just a game. We've got all these things to deal with. Plugins, other platforms, technologies that we have to figure out how to integrate, even understand what the best tools are to use. It's an incredibly complicated ecosystem. We're just beginning to even understand it in any efficient way. And now they're throwing this at us. It's a whole new set of disciplines for UX, UI, telemetry. We're talking about eye tracking, big data. It's an incredibly exciting time to be a developer. Look at you. So, again, this is not intuitive. This is our world. The rest of the world is already integrated. It's already collaborative. It's already extensible through service-oriented architectures. That's where we have to be. And that's what we're building and beginning to deploy in the near future. So let me just show you a little bit more about our world and what we're doing. There might be audio to this. Or I can narrate it. That's a good-looking guy. Clearly game developers following me at this point in time. So this is what real-time collaboration looks like. Think of it as Google Docs for games. What we're talking about is sort of the fundamental transformation from Microsoft Word to Google Docs, but on a bigger scale. It is a team sport, it is collaborative, and you have to make games with your team in real time. The goal is to iterate faster, to be able to deploy your runtime to device in real time. Push a button. If you're working in Austin, Texas, you should be in the editor with someone in New York. You should be able to make a change in New York and have someone in Austin push a button and see it on your phone instantaneously. This is the future. This is what we have to deliver. Pardon me. Again, Google Docs for games. It's not just about in the editor. It's not just about making your game. Remember, we're building live services. This is end-to-end. You need to be collaborative from content development, whether it's in Maya, in a distributed world for outsourcing, and be able to preview your work in real time on device, so that when your team in India is making content, you can see it on your phone in San Francisco in real time. And you can give direction back to that individual or that team leader on a different continent to make your content faster with fewer iteration times. So we go from dailies to nowies. It's not only just about the architectures that enable N-core runtime performance. It's also about a service-oriented architecture. You know, the current platforms, their architectures were built 10 to 15 years ago. Service-oriented architecture didn't exist. What service-oriented architectures let you do is easily modify and extend your development environment without having to hack and kludge in technologies. Let me give you a practical example of this. We just signed an agreement with Finger Food Studios. You probably don't know who they are, but they're involved with, you know, little properties like this: Skylanders and Titanfall, Call of Duty. They're the guys who programmed the software for Sphero and BB-8. So that's a whole category of experiences that's now evolving, and it's a huge business. Toys to life. Well, how do you develop a Toys to Life game? Well, Finger Food has developed a whole suite of technologies to build those sorts of experiences, and they're integrating with our development platform through our service-oriented architecture so that other developers can easily write software to drive the Sphero robot. That's an example of what a service-oriented architecture is. And there are countless more examples of how that could be valuable. Now, I have another video, but it's a bunch of guys talking, so that's probably going to be difficult for you guys to pay attention to.
You know, we've worked with a number of
great
companies such as Activision, Microsoft, our friends at Sphero, and we see how this technology is really going to leverage the projects that they want to create in the future. And I think that's one of the things we're most excited about, is to be able to finally announce that we're working with this kind of next-gen architecture.
My hope is we stop talking about the cloud in the future and just talk about like socially enabled development tools, things that remove boundaries of communication.
MaxPlay is exciting because they've really taken a 10, 15, 20-year leap forward in how developers are going to create content and work together in these collaborative workflows.
There's so many things that a game developer can utilize the cloud for. Any tool that makes that more accessible and cheaper for them, it's great, right? So from that perspective, I think it's pretty exciting.
MaxPlay is a collection of tools and technologies that enable people who need to build a game together, all of whom don't exist together maybe in the same room, to do so, to iterate quickly, to have a quality product, to work on that product in an ordered way, metrics, and generally makes a process that can be very difficult to manage a lot easier.
So just to wrap up, our mission is to enable developers to iterate faster, not incrementally, but dramatically faster through collaborative, real-time distributed game development with a service-oriented architecture for new platforms. Thank you very much.